Basketball is back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet all of your favorite sports and events, whether that's NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, or even golf. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts. All righty, guys, we are live with yet another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast. Before we get into the nitty gritty, man, I want to make sure I'm reminding you guys to like this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, give us a 5-star rating if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. It goes a long way to help get this podcast out to the people who love it and need to see it. So that was my guy, Put Up Tay, on the intro. It's also going to be him on the outro. But, into the nitty gritty, man, we are joined by one of my good friends, a guy who's very well traveled, a DMV native as well. And he's currently out in Spain, man, getting it done with Marc Gasol's team in Girona. We're blessed to have none other than Kam Taylor on the What's in Your Bag podcast. So, Kam, thank you for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Brody.
No doubt, man. I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Alexis. Alexis, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Glad to be back home, man. Been on the road for the last 2 weeks, so it's good to be back in Japan. Back settled in a little bit, so back home. So definitely feeling great. But nah, man, we definitely want to get right into it, Kam. Obviously, you're a guy who I think has one of the most unique stories that I've heard. Just coming from Division II, obviously growing up in the DMV, playing at Dematha, and just really working your way up all the way through, the overseas ranks, and got the first touch of NBA Summer League this summer. We'll get into that later on in the podcast, but I just want to kind of get started. Just tell me, about just your upbringing, man. How you kind of got introduced to basketball growing up back in the DMV, and just kind of I guess how did you end up, obviously getting to Dematha on that team with Mike Jones, but just tell me about your upbringing, just growing up in the DMV, and kind of what introduced you to the game of basketball.
For sure. So basically got to give the props to my mom. She kind of put the ball in my hands first. At a young age, she wanted to get me into a lot of sports. So I was actually playing like football, track, and basketball all the way up until I want to say like 10th grade. Like I was kind of juggling those three. Those three were my favorite. I played baseball, I played soccer when I was young, but those are my three main, like coming up from like 6th to like 10th grade. I went to St. Jerome's. That's where I kind of fell in love with the game, although I was a football player at heart. But at St. Jerome's, we had Quinn as an 8th grader, Vic as an 8th grader. So, just being behind them and watching what they was doing in St. Jerome's was like, it's like, dang, I want to do that type thing. You know what I mean? So, I kind of fell in love with it at St. Jerome's. I had a rough 7th grade year. I didn't play a lot, but, our team was loaded. We had Quinn and we had, a whole bunch of 8th graders. So I had, just wait my turn type thing. My 8th grade year, I ended up, making the team. Well, I was already on the team, but I ended up being on the team, being a starting point guard, and we ended up winning the championship. And hung the banner in the St. Jerome's gym. Just kind of like having that championship feeling at a young age. Kind of gets the love going. Like I want to keep feeling this type thing.
Sure.
So, I wasn't always, so, for those who don't know me, I'm like 6'6", like, 215, whatever. Back when I was young, 8th grade, I was probably 5'4", maybe 105, maybe. Like I was very, very small. And that's as an 8th grader. And, coming into 9th grade, we won the championship, whatever, but, I'm like super skinny. I'm not ready for no high school ball. You know what I mean? So, all my, friends are kind of bigger than me. They're going off to their high school, picking their high school. I got a basically, I'm still scrambling trying to, because the high schoolers don't want me, because they don't, I'm super small. You got end up taking a chance. They want people that's ready. They want people they can build. But I was pretty small, so a funny story. I actually didn't want to go to Dematha. I wanted to go to Gonzaga or St. John's, but Coach Jones, kind of, seen something in me, talked to my parents, and was like, "Hey, he can come out here. He can try for the freshman team. He can, possibly make the freshman team, but just know he has an opportunity here." So Coach Jones definitely was the first person to kind of give me a shot, per se. As a ninth grader, I'm to proving myself, I'm still doing basketball, still doing football. As a football player, ninth grade on Dematha at 5'5", 110 maximum wet. Yeah, you can imagine, like, ain't no room on the team for me there. So I'm playing against, big dudes, like do already men type thing. You know how Dematha get down. So basically, long story short, I kind of fell out of love with football pretty early. And I was not ready for that, adjustment. So I ended up trying out for the freshman team, and it was a whole bunch of good players. Like I don't know if you remember Tevin Johnson and Mick Miller and all those guys. Obviously in the varsity you had James Robinson and Jeremy and all those guys, but they weren't even thought about for the freshman team. So I had some already like kind of ready guys for the freshman team, but like my mom always raised me to, kind of outwork the next person, as long as you work hard, you're going to be seen, you're going to be, noticed. So, you don't get your head down. You just, get your put, just grind basically. So, basically that's what I did. Ninth grade, I was probably the 15th, pick on the team. I think we keep 18 players. I might've been like, probably the 15th man type thing, and basically had to work my way to get some minutes on freshman team. With Dematha, they look at the freshman team and they kind of chop from there. So out of that 18, whoever makes JV, is the top 12 basically, and then you got the incoming freshmen that are on JV. So like the following year, my 10th grade year, I'm trying out for JV. I'm still, still pretty small, and it's still pretty discouraging. But my work got me, that far. So it's like, why not, give it my best shot? Like put my best foot forward. Hasn't let me down yet. You know what I mean? So I go out there, put my best foot forward. I ended up making the team, and ended up, long story short, becoming a starter on that team and being one of the the main guys on the JV squad. But yeah, that's just the story all the way up to making the Dematha team. It's been a journey.
Quite the journey.
So even with playing at Dematha, I went to McNamara. So even just playing at Dematha and how that kind of panned out for you, what made you want to stay at Dematha instead of maybe transferring to another school in the WCAC, maybe trying to play your cards, see if you could, get more playing time there, or whatever that might look like. What kind of made you stick around and still want to play at Dematha?
So number one, the brotherhood at Dematha is different than anything that I've ever experienced. Like going there my freshman year and like basically bonding with everyone. Like there are obviously like guys who hang out with their sports or whatever, but there's no cliques. Like everybody is welcoming to everybody. Everybody says what's up to everybody. Like everybody is cool with everybody. Like I knew everybody's name, first name basis. If I didn't know them personally, I knew of them. And like if they didn't know me, they knew of me. Like I don't know, like just being a part of that and being, just surrounded by that was super, super welcoming. Number two, I was wanted by Dematha. So like after my freshman year, Like, they wanted me to stay. I knew everybody. I was comfortable. I felt like, even though Dematha is, one of the top high schools in the country. So at the time, I didn't know if I was gonna make varsity or not, but I didn't care because, the guys, they wanted me to be there. So to leave and kind of take the risk for a McNamara or a Gonzaga and kind of just like, take the gamble of going there would be, I wouldn't say not smart, but it would be a risk. It'll be a big risk. So I found my niche in Dematha, and that's probably the biggest reason I stayed.
Now I feel like we had James Robinson on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and we were asking just about those high school teams back at Dematha around that time. And we asked him about you, man. We was like, yo, just seeing obviously where Cam is at now, like getting to play Euroleague and NBA Summer League. I can remember I went to Dematha camp when I first met you and James and all y'all back in the day. And it was crazy because at that time you weren't really playing that much. And it's like you obviously ended up going to Seton Hill, which is a Division II school, and giving the other guys on that Dematha team who were going high major, like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so given how your career has turned out, like looking at where you are now, and then back then, not getting rid of the minutes that you got in high school, like, was there ever a time when you questioned, like, damn, like, should I have went to a different high school? Maybe I would have went D1. Should I have like went to a different school? Maybe I would have played more. Like, how do you look at that now, given like when you look back, you on the cusp of the league now, you know what I'm saying? So how do you kind of look back on that time period?
So continuing from my 10th grade story, my junior year, I'm working for varsity now. Like at this time, like, James is on there, Jeremy's on there, Mikhail, they have a couple seniors, a lot of guys from JV, you got the freshmen, incoming freshmen. Like now I'm with the big leagues, and now it's like, damn, like, can I make this team? Like with Jones, with the number 10, top 5 high school in the country. So just as I did my freshman and sophomore year, I put my best foot forward. And long story short, I was basically one of the last guys to make the team. And man, just coming from where I came from and the doubt and, all of that stuff, like from the previous years, like just being on the team was just a gift enough. It was just a blessing enough. But, after that year, I didn't play. I didn't get much time. We went to the Alhambra tournament and I had kind of like a breakout game, had like 14 points, 15 points or something like that. And, from there, it was time to work towards my senior year. And my senior year is when, it's like, what you going to do now? Like, you're a senior, you got these top dudes. Is when we had BJ, we had James, we had Jeremy, we had Jairus, we had Kelvin, Marcellus. Like we had a whole bunch of guys. So I'm just trying to, I know that we have capable players to win, but I'm just trying to do my job so we, keep winning. I don't want to be that guy that, kind of throws everything off. I don't know where my place is my senior year, but all I wanted to do was win. And I asked Coach Jones, what do you want me to do? And honestly, he was just, put me in the positions where I could, just kind of be myself, and when I say that, it just means like work. Like I've always been a worker. I've always worked hard. So like to be in the positions to play defense, to get the rebounds, to make the extra pass, to hit the open shot. Like I didn't need the ball in my hands to, make a difference on the team. So I had to, make my difference on the team like that way. So through the course of the year, I wasn't really scoring that much, but we were winning, and like through us winning, like I didn't have no worry. Like everybody that comes through Dematha goes D1, so like, as long as I'm doing my job, as long as we winning, like it don't matter to me. Like I'm cool. Coach Jones is preaching to us, you play for the team, we play for each other, everything's gonna work out. So we're gonna fast forward to the end of the season. Basically everybody's committed. I think James going to Pitt, Jeremy's going to Syracuse. A couple of our other guys have committed. I want to say the Smith twins was on our team. Committed. Marcellus was committed, Jacksonville, and I'm basically one of the lone seniors not committed. So that summer was really hard because, I didn't come from I would say like a basketball family. I mean, my family, there's people in my family that did play basketball, but not really, big names like a Harvey Grant or, as such as that. So I didn't have anybody. I didn't play for no big AAU team. So I didn't really have anybody in my corner except for Jones and Dematha. So I basically had to put all my eggs in one basket and trusting, that it will work out for me. And basically, like I had honorable mention for at the end of the year, but I was not, let's say, aggressive in my scoring. Like, I'll just take what comes to me. I'll just go get a rebound. And at this point, I'm still only 6'3", like 190. Like I'm very skinny, very like medium height, you know what I mean? There's no like nothing that jumps off the page for college to come get me, you know what I mean? So it's basically the same I was going through as when I was when in eighth grade, when the high schools, that was just kind of like, nah, we're gonna go with, somebody else, So through the summer, I'm working out, but I don't have anybody to work out with. I'm going to the rec center and, kind of just doing drills that, I learned in the Dematha camp or they're learned from, that I'm used to doing in practices with Jones. So one story that always will remain with me. Coach Jones comes to me. Let's just say, it's the summer. I want to say it's like early summer, like June, early June. He comes to me and he's just like, Cam, I got a school for you. Have you been working out? So at this point, I can't tell him no. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is my opportunity. He's like, yeah, I got a school for you. Like, you been working out? So I'm like, yeah, I've been working out. He's like, Jones, he always gotta, make sure you sure. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm excited. I'm just ready to go. But truth be told, I've only been working out by myself and only can get the amount of work I could get in by myself. Like you only can push yourself to, a certain limit type thing. So ended up being Mount St. Mary's, and Mount St. Mary's had one college coach. One college coach coming in to see me, and it was just me and Jones, and we went through a workout. And man, them single workouts, them joints is crazy. Like them joints, they get hard within the first 5 minutes. So we doing, moves at the cone, finishing, got to finish with a dunk, show them your athleticism, show them your handling. I'm tired within the first 5 minutes, so it's looking shaky. So fast forward, we get through with the workout. So me and Jones goes talk to the coach. Before I get over there, I'm out of breath. I'm drenched in sweat. I barely did even a 20-minute workout. I walk over there to the college coach, and he's basically like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to come better than that. Like, if that's what you got to work with, like, I don't know what to tell you," type thing. Like, basically gave me this crazy heat check. Like, I went home and was distraught, heartbroken. Like, that's my only chance. Well, had my only chance to basically, kind of get a college scholarly, a D1 joint, and that's what the D1 coach tells me. And I'm in there working my butt off. Like, I know I'm a hard worker. I'm working by myself. Like, I'm thinking, like, how can I just go to the next level? So long story short, we fast forward. It's now like July, from July 1st to July 31st for about 4 hours a day. Every single day of July, I went to Keith Veeney. Keith Veeney put me through, he was working in Washington Bible College, and we had these 4-hour workouts, and I would literally like sweat out of like two freaking outfits. I had to bring like three sets of clothes just to leave dry from the gym because it was a sauna in there. But I've been working with him, and basically I got to a point where my confidence was through the roof, where I knew I was good, where I was working with guys from the WCAC, where I was looking just as good as them, where I looked like I should be at a D1 spot. But at this point, it's getting kind of late. Everybody has got their guys, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. So, I'm going in and out with, Coach Jones. He's trying his best. He's talking to Quinnipiac. He's talking to who else did I have? Sienna. He's talking to all these mid majors, and they're just like, nah, we got our guys. We got our guys. We got our guys. So, me and my mom and my Jones end up meeting one day, and we're talking, and we're trying to figure out what the options are. And he's just like, yeah, like there are no D1 offers. We can keep waiting, or you can try D2, or you can go to prep school. So I'm looking at my mom like, what should we do? What should we do? Like I'm just like, I just want to hoop. Like, at this point, I'm ready to commit. All my friends have committed. I'm just ready to, continue with my story, with my journey. And because I feel like I deserve it as well. I was on the team as well. Like, where is my flowers at?
Thanks.
So we're in there, and he's just, going over the options. And at this point, my mom isn't the richest lady in the world. She's always done her best. She went out of her way to, put us in the best school, and Dematha ain't cheap. So like, Dematha kind of like, is in her pockets. My brother is about to come to Dematha the next year. So she's just like, that prep school, I don't know. Like, unless you get a full ride, we can't go that route. So I'm like, yeah, you sure? Like, let's just try, Mom. Like, I'm just like, I want to go D1, because Jones believes I can go D1. I believe I go to D1. I put all this work in. Like, I'm ready now. So she's just like, okay, we gonna see. So we also, went over the option of D2. There's Wheeling Jesuit and Glenville State that asked me to come up there and work out for them. And I am fully confident. I've been, working with Vini 4 hours a day, every single day. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm about to barbecue everybody that gets in my way. So I ended up going up there, and let's just shorten up the story. I ended up going against Wheeling Jesuits, best player at the time. And, the coach kind of puts me against him one-on-one. Killed him. Like, literally, they offered me a full scholarship right after the workout. Went to Glenville State. They put me in a 5-on-5 with the team. Like, I looked like I was already on the team, or I had already been on the team. Offered me a full ride right then. Like, and just kind of like, leaving from those situations kind of gave me like a sigh of relief. Like, wow, like, all right, like, I got it. Like, my mom's good now. She don't got to pay for prep school. I got a college I can go to. I got guys that'll want me. But there was one more school, and that was Seton Hill. And they ended up, and at this point, I'm still, going to Vini every day. They ended up coming to Maryland to watch me work out. So, they kind of watch me work out, go through a workout. They invite me to, to the school for, to kind of examine me. And I went against their best player, killed him. Full ride on the spot. So I'm there actually with my dad. That's the only school my mom didn't, kind of ride with me to, and chaperone me type thing. So I get the full ride there. The campus is beautiful. The coach is talking great. Like, yeah, this is going to be your team. Like, you're a freshman. Like, just coming here, do what you do. Like, you're going to have the opportunity. Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, I'm going over with my family. I'm like, guys, like, I'm D1. Like, I'm not D2. I'm D1. Like, I was killing these D2 guys. I should not be there. Like, I went up there and barbecued them. Like, I'm D1. I know I am. So my family's just like, like, you got to weigh your options. You don't have D1 options. Like, if you D1, go kill it in D2 and transfer out. So that's kind of my story on how, the varsity to D2 happened. And of course, you get the backlash of kind of like everybody like questioning, like, whoa, guy from Dematha going D2, like, what's going on here? Like, what happened here? Oh, whoa, like, what was me? Like, I'm not the guy to have sympathy for myself. So I just kind of took it, with a chip on my shoulder and attacked it, that way.
So being that you kind of had to go through your own path, seeing everyone else go D1, but then having to go D2, but then now being able to have these opportunities of playing in one of the best international leagues, doing G League with Phoenix. I'm in Phoenix too, so that's funny. But how has that kind of, I guess you could say, created a full circle moment for you, trusting yourself and not really listening to those people that had something to say about you not going the D1 route?
Man, it's a feeling that I can't even kind of put into words. Cause when you're going through the journey alone, and when you got so many people I don't know, but in your heart and in your mind that nah, I'm gonna prove these people wrong. That feeling is just overwhelming almost. When when I was just kind of making my way through the international ranks. My first year, I wasn't even playing at a super high level. I was playing in Germany. I wasn't making that much money. I was playing in the second league, but to me, I was playing basketball for money, and there was dudes at home that would kill for that, and I never felt bad for myself, oh, I'm only playing at this level, or I'm only playing, with these guys. I always looked at it as a blessing just to play basketball for money and to be in the gym, getting paid for basketball. That's living the dream in itself. So I think, honestly, my love for the game and my story from the previous my previous grind just kind of made me stronger and built the person and character that I have now to kind of get through the ranks of the international journey or whatever. But to answer your question, I can't even put into words.
So, I mean, you mentioned it in your last response about how you started off your first year in Germany Pro B. And for the people who, Pro A, second division Germany. So you started off in Pro A Germany, and you've played in BBL Germany, you've played in Hungary. You truly worked your way all the way up through the ranks of Europe. Last season, you played Euroleague with Maccabi Tel Aviv. What has that been like moving up through the ranks? I feel like for people who don't really understand overseas basketball, when we see somebody play overseas, all right, it don't matter if you second division Germany, third division Spain, if you ACB, all you think of is you overseas, right? So
right.
For people who don't understand that process of moving up, for you, what do you think was the most important part from starting out in Pro A Germany and then making it obviously to the pinnacle of European basketball last season with Maccabi Tel Aviv, and now this year you're in the ACB, which is the best domestic league in the world, outside of the NBA, I would say, what do you think just was the most important aspect in you moving up, through the overseas ranks? Because that's not something that's easy to do for a lot of guys.
Right. I think the number one important thing was to never compare. No matter where I was, I never compared myself to where somebody else was, or he's at this level, I should be at this level, or why is he at this level? He's not that good. I always focus on myself and handling the business at hand and making sure the team that took a chance on me at the time benefited from taking a chance on me. I wanted to make sure I appreciated them and do well for them, not only just kind of getting buckets on the court but off the court. And that kind of goes into my second point. It's not just who you are on the court, it's who you are off the court. So I think I kind of made this jump because of my good personality per se, because everything overseas is word of mouth. And the first thing a team does is they ask what kind of guy is he, because these European teams are they already know with Americans, we're sacrificing 10 months out of our time, and it's already hard enough being away from our families, being some guys go through depression, are you going to make it harder for the team? Are you going to make it, a harder thing for the team that you're already going through this? Or are you going to look at the silver lining of it? Or are you going to attack it positively? Like, that's the first thing every manager, kind of asks, like, how is he as a teammate? How is he as a guy? Like, does he get homesick? They just have to know that you're, a trustworthy person. And I think through my career, I've been, positive. I've been, humble. I've been, good not only to my teammates, but to the fans, to the townies. Like, I still have fans hit me up on Facebook, and people that lived in the neighborhoods outside of Germany still hit me up on Facebook. Don't speak a lick of English, but they knew that I was a good person. And that stuff kind of like follows you, through your career. And I think those are the top two things. Maybe the third thing is, having an agent that's, on your side, and, that's in your corner, and, that wants the best for you and knows, where to put you type thing. But as far as the top two things, I think those were the top two.
So all your experiences, kind of fast forwarding now with the most recent one with playing in Summer League, for me, I always think about Summer League. It's fun. It's kind of the fun side of the NBA. It's not as intense. Of course, everyone's there trying to get a chance, but it's not as intense. You have the more tenured NBA players coming to watch you guys. It's like, kind of like a bigger reunion. You see people that you used to play with and stuff like that. So can you kind of just talk to us about just your overall Summer League experience?
Man, so, you guys listening to my story from, 8th grade to high school to college, for overseas, like, you can't imagine, like, what my face was or what my heart was doing when I got a letter from Phoenix Suns that said, hey, we want you to come play Summer League with us. Like, literally, from all that stuff, all that doubt, all that grind, all that, hard work, all of that, just all that, everything, like, to get a letter from the Summer League team saying, hey, we see you, like, come hoop with us. Man, I almost broke out in tears. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it was just like that feeling where you, like, when you on a roller coaster and it goes straight down and your stomach drops to your back. It's like, oh my goodness, like, I don't even know. But as far as like the Summer League experience, so I was hype off the letter. Like, as soon as I get there to the gym in the arena and start practicing, I'm looking at the floor like, man, this is really the Suns arena. Oh, this is really the Suns practice gym. I'm going up. This is really the Suns locker room. Oh, this is really the Suns training room. I'm just going around like in awe. Like, so then, like, after the first 2 days, like, you got to snap out of it. It's like, all right, I'm here. Like, all right, you're done. It's cool. So we had practice in Arizona before we head to Vegas. And, we practicing with the team, making sure we get situated. We know our plays, blah, 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 blah. So we fast forward to Vegas. I get to Vegas. We staying at the Wynn. I'm walking in, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this joint nice. Like, staying here is dope. I'm walking in the hotel room. The Siri does everything. I don't gotta touch nothing. Like, Siri open blinds, Siri close the door, Siri turn on the lights. Like, light switch right there, but I want Siri to do it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, the experience was crazy. Like, the everything was just super professional, and coming from international and playing basketball international, like, the professionalism is big. So we fast forward, and we've been practicing. I've been doing well in practices, but I'm not getting my hopes up on this Phoenix Suns team. Like, with everything that I've done, 8th grade, college, overseas, like, I'm just here to put my best foot forward. So, I put my best foot forward. We practice, go to Vegas. It's the day before the game. We play the Lakers, our first game. And basically the day before the game, we have our shoot around. Coaches announces the start at 5. I'm in it. I'm like, man, I start laughing to myself in my head, though. In my head, I'm laughing, but you guys keep a straight face. Like, I knew I was going to be starting, like, but But I'm laughing in my head. I'm like, the first thing that comes into my head, I'm like, I cannot wait to tell my family I'm about to be starting versus the Lakers in summer league, tomorrow. And so I'm just kind of like, all the blood is rushing, everything is going through me. So as we're getting off the floor after shoot around, I'm coming off the court, like, and this is at the time where, Phoenix was going through, like, do they want KD on their team? Are they going to go for KD and, all that type of stuff. So I'm going off the floor. I'm seeing Jared Dudley, like, the coach of the Mavs. He was the head coach of the summer league of the Mavs. And I'm seeing Matt Barnes and I'm seeing Steven Jackson. I'm like, whoa. They're passing each other. The coaches are passing each other. Like, y'all about to get KD? Y'all about to get KD? I'm like, whoa, I'm really in this circle. Like, they really talking about this around me. Like, I can hear, I can take this info back in my, they about to get KD. So, it was just overwhelming. I get back to the hotel. I'm trying to like, calm down. And I can't sleep because my blood is rushing. So I'm just so excited for tomorrow. I mean, the game. So basically, fast forward, I had a decent game. I think I had 6 to 8 points. We ended up beating the Lakers. But to chalk up like the whole experience, like, it was still such an overwhelming experience because I'm literally like in the hotel. I'm dressed like regular sweatpants, whatever, just like everybody else. I'm sitting in the restaurant ready to order my stuff, and I'm looking over, and Ben Simmons over there. Then I look over to my left, Ime Udoka right there, and I'm like, I'm really eating with these guys. I'm in the elevator with Mark Cuban, with Tom Thibodeau. I'm over there. I remember one time, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of, this is embarrassing, but I don't care. So I was in the elevator, and I'm coming down from my room, just trying to get something to eat. The joint stopped before it get to the bottom, pick up a person, whatever. In comes Nash. So Steve Nash is right there. So it's just me and him in the elevator. So I'm standing right there. I'm looking at him. And I'm looking away, and I'm looking at him like, I'm just trying to see if he real. Like, he looking at him. So I think he noticed me looking at him, and he just like, "What's good, bro?" I'm just like, "What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Hey, good luck tomorrow. Good luck tomorrow." So, to answer your question, it was an overwhelming experience. I'm truly blessed to have it. Maybe to go again next summer. But yeah, it was, man, I can't even, like I said, I can't describe the feeling.
Man, listen, I can relate, man. I've never been in summer league, man, but I can't even explain to y'all the amount of jealousy that I had this summer because my brother Aaron is working for the Clippers now. So he was out there
Right.
summer working for the Clippers. Man, I'm texting him every day, like, yo, bro, how's summer league, bro? How's it going? I just seen James Harden. Bro, this man talking about he was in the club. He's James Harden over there. John by him. John Morant over there. I'm like, damn, son. Like they all was in the same spot. This man got a ride to the CVS from Isaiah Thomas, Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Like Isaiah Thomas, like picked him up.
Right.
Up in the I got you. I'll give you a ride. I'm like, bro, so you just casually taking rides with Isaiah Thomas. Like, I'm sick. I was too sick.
It's different. It's different.
I was sick. So nonetheless, man, I'm gonna be out there next summer, you know what I'm saying? So I can rub shoulders with some goats, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I gotta ask you because obviously this is kind of being in summer league last year with Phoenix, you were also out there with Ishmael Wainwright, who's another guy who has DMV ties, played for Montrose, and not only that, but he also was a guy who was made the NBA from overseas. He was in Strasbourg in France, a team that you also played for last season. Did you ever talk to him about just his journey, like how he kind of was able to make that leap from overseas to the NBA, how he's been able to kind of secure another deal with Phoenix now? Like, what was that experience like with you guys being able to be with Phoenix together this summer?
Yeah, for sure. Ishmael is a great guy, and similar to me, I think he got a lot of the things that he has from being a great guy. Literally with Phoenix, like, the man's upstanding, cheering on everybody. Like, he doesn't care what he does. He does the little things, but he's not scared to, kind of be aggressive. And that's what kind of separates him. Like, he plays his role perfectly, but at the same time, kind of is not comparing his situation to anybody else's. Like he's being the best him that he can possibly be. And through that, I think he made the Phoenix team. And through that, I think he got another deal with Phoenix.
Yeah. And have you ever talked to him just about like, kind of what was, I guess, the main thing is, or I guess pointers like, all right, bro, like what do you think I would have to do to kind of make it, or like, I guess ways to kind of navigate that situation? Cause I was watching y'all in Summer League and both of y'all was out there going, I was out there, both of y'all was balling together, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool to see because I feel like a lot of guys, especially in Ismail's shoes, who kind of come from overseas, first year with Phoenix, he didn't really play much, but then Summer League, they kind of gave him an opportunity to have the ball more and play a little bit more. And then for you, like you said, you were a guy that came right in and started. It wasn't like you were just another guy that was a name on the roster. Like you actually had an opportunity to get out there and play. So, for you, did you ever, I guess, just asking, I guess, any tips or pointers and how he was able to kind of make all that happen?
Yeah, I mean, he knows and I know, well, he informed me that, all this NBA stuff is very situational. He kind of got his opportunity, he took advantage, and, he made the team. With NBA and with Summer League and with making the team, it's almost, there's like a great deal of luck that goes into it as well. Like if everybody that was skilled and everybody that was, could get a bucket could make the team, there wouldn't be a lot of the guys in the league that, would be in the league. I feel like, a lot of teams need certain things, and they don't need, a bucket getter for every position. They don't need a shooter for every position. So like, when he was going in there, I'm not going to say they didn't need his position, but he could do everything. So like whatever they needed him to do, he can shoot, he could play the four, he can play the wing, he can play defense, he can rebound, he could, handle the ball. He didn't turn the ball over. He was smart. Like he had all the intangibles, and at the time where they needed a player, he kind of, just kind of was able to fit in, and with his good attitude, kind of, got in like that. Through his overseas journey, his journey was crazy as well because he started also off, I want to say, in Pro B Germany, and then kind of worked his way up, and then kind of went with Strasbourg, and then after Strasbourg, kind of got his opportunity. But like I was saying, like with making the NBA, there is like a certain amount of luck that it takes to kind of get further within that opportunity.
Sure.
Kind of going back to something you said earlier with him just kind of being an overall good person, kind of seems like to be a theme that happens with people that come on to the podcast, starting way back with Stanton Kidd, just talking about how the way he's been able to navigate through different leagues and stuff has just been being a genuine person. And with you mentioning Ishmael, I definitely think that's true. I went to the Suns open practice. He was taking pictures with babies. He was signing kids' autographs, and he was like the last person after campaign to leave the arena after signing stuff at the open practice. I definitely would, second everything you're saying about him being a good person. I think too, some people that get so excited about the entertainment portion of sports that they don't remember that it's a business as well. So with that kind of comes with having an agent. So can you kind of talk to people about the relationship between you and your agent and how your agent kind of helps you navigate these different roads you can take with basketball?
So actually I've had, I want to say, 4 agents in my career. My first one was the guy who took a chance on me. He was German, and usually with the overseas agents, they just kind of have a plug within overseas or with internationally. So wherever they're from, they'll have, a connect to get you on the team in that country or wherever they're from. So that's basically how it happened for me to get my first opportunity from out of Seton Hill. He ended up contacting me and was like, listen, I got an opportunity. Do you want it or not? And, I'm just hopping on the first opportunity that I can get to just basically kind of get my foot in the door. After that first year, he actually became a GM for another team, like out of nowhere, like didn't even tell me. So I'm just like, all right, bro, like, good luck with that. But like, man, I need an agent. You left me out to dry. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you can at least warn me. But nah, I ended up looking for another guy. He ended up putting me on with another guy who's also German. And he was like, I think even smaller than him. So he's used to putting guys in, lower leagues, like third league, second league, fourth league, whatever. He had a lot of guys in that realm. And I had just finished playing second league. So long story short, I went to, another team in Germany and had a pretty good year. But after the year, like he wanted to, so I basically was telling my agent, like, listen, I want to play in a first league. Because in my opinion, or in my experiences, if you play in a second league or you play in a third league too long, I feel like you start getting a tag putting on your name. Like, okay, he's a second league player, he's a great third league player, great second league player, and I didn't want that tag. So I demanded my agent, like, listen, find me a first league to play in. Like, no matter what the country is, and at this point I don't really know too much, but this is what I knew that I wanted. I'm like, so find me a first league to play in. I don't care what country, but find me one. So long story short, he didn't find it for me, and I ended up firing him and going with another agent. This agent found me a Hungary job. I was in Hungary. We were, I did really well. Made my way back to Germany. Kind of, did well back in Germany. And then through firing them, it was more of a, I'm at the peak of my career. They were just starting out. We both kind of grew together, and at that point I had to make a decision, like, do I keep growing with my guys, or do I go to an agency that has, all of the connects and all of the, power within Europe. And through a tough decision, I didn't want to do it, but I felt like, the time is now type thing. I ended up firing them and went with my agency now. And literally, like, everything has been going well. I did have a difficult time in Tel Aviv, but then picked it back up in Strasbourg. Had a great year in great half year in Strasbourg, and now I'm probably in one of the best domestic leagues in Europe, in Spain.
Yep. I think that's a perfect segue, man, into the next question, because obviously now you're in Spain, you're in Girona, and you're playing with probably a future NBA Hall of Famer in Marc Gasol. What has that experience been like? Because for those who don't know, Girona is a team who was in the second division in Spain last year, was able to move up to the ACB this year, but they have a history because like we talked about a little bit off air. The team kind of went away after Marc played here as a kid before he came over to the league. So just talk about just this season, present day, being in Girona, what the situation has been like playing this year, and then what it's been like obviously having Marc Gasol as your teammate.
Right. So I actually came to the decision not only because of Marc Gasol, but also because of my head coach, Aito Garcia. For those who don't know who that is, he was the head coach of Spain when they played the Redeem team. And yes, and Marc Gasol was also on that team. So I've been playing against my head coach in Germany, where he was coaching Berlin, and just watching the basketball they kind of played was they won championships every time he was coaching them. But watching the basketball they played was just like, wow. Like, and everybody that played for him just kind of, praises how he's such a great teacher. So actually one of my main reasons was to play for him. Like, he's a legend through Europe. He's coached tons and tons of talent. He had Rubio. He coached these guys at young age. He's pretty old. I don't know his age, but he's definitely over, I want to say 60, 70 years old. But I'm not known for sure, so I don't know. But he's coached a young Kristaps Porzingis. He's coached a young Ricky Rubio. He's coached a young Pau Gasol, Marc when he was 19. Like, he has so much experience. He coached against the Redeem team with LeBron and Kobe and all these guys, and gave him a run. Not gonna lie, they gave him a run, but he just has so much experience and he has so much to teach. Like I as a basketball player, I wanted to go play for that and improve my game, improve what else I can add and see what else I can add to my game. So yeah, he was one of my main motives for coming to Girona. Playing with Marc is crazy. It still seems like he's like Memphis Marc. Like he gets a bucket. He's out here shooting threes. He out here playing defense. He's out here being competitive. And then he's such a down to earth guy. Like for those who don't know, he's also the president of our team. So he's a president player. So he's basically kind of built this organization by himself, like through his own money, through his own likeness and his pool. Like he's trying to, he could have went to like Real Madrid and kind of, or Barcelona in a bigger market and kind of put his money in there, but he'd rather come home and basically start his hometown team from scratch and take it to the next level and do it himself, like as a president and as a player. So like just through all that, like I have the utmost respect for him, and he's always making sure we're good, not only because he's the president, but like just because he's a great guy himself.
Yeah. So what's he like as a teammate, man? Like, do you ever ask him any cool like NBA stories, or like is he ever, you guys ever kind of pick his brain on that stuff, or just what's Marc like as a teammate? Because obviously, like you mentioned, he's a little bit older now, but I mean, like you said, he's still playing, trying to get buckets. So I mean, what's he like as a teammate?
I mean, he has his young stories, but he doesn't share them with me. He doesn't share them with me because he has to maintain his presidential image. You know what I'm saying? So maybe off the record, or he'll be able to talk to me one day. But honestly, he's just a competitor. Like he's not as young as he used to be, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Like the way this man plays, like you could probably see it in our game. I don't know who watch our games or our game film or his highlights. Like he's still out here. He ain't no slouch. Like he ain't out here being a cone. He ain't out here people attacking him. Like he's still Marc Gasol. But yeah, like end of the day, like to answer your question, he's a competitor. Like he loves to compete. He loves to be in the gym. He loves basketball, which is one of the reasons why he's still playing, just because he has such a great love for the game.
Yep, yep. That's dope. That's dope, man. I wanted to kind of ask you this, man, because I think, last season, obviously, like you said, you played Euroleague with Maccabi Tel Aviv, played Summer League. Now you're in Girona, in the ACB with a chance to elevate them some more. What would it mean to you to finally sign that NBA contract? Like just coming from Division II, not getting minutes at Dematha, like working your way through Europe, Pro A Germany your first year. Like I feel like now, you're right there, you're on the cusp of kind of actually making that happen. And, for you, we're a big believer in prayers, and manifesting everything like that. I believe that God is going to make it happen for you, man. And I think I'm speaking into existence now, man. So, for you, like, if and when you do sign that NBA deal, man, like what is that going to mean to you? Just looking back on your story and finally making it to the pinnacle of basketball, given, you were that 5'4" 8th grader, 110 soaking wet, you know what I'm saying? What would that mean to you?
To be honest with you, bro, if that were to happen, I would probably cry. I haven't cried in a long time, but there would probably be a few tears shed just knowing, the early mornings I went through, the late nights I went through, the disappointment, the the lows of the lows, to not having money, to man, like just everything that you just kind of like persevere and then kind of like grind through for that to happen or that to go through. I'll probably like, because you literally work towards that, and that's like almost the ultimate goal. And like to reach that goal is just would be unbelievable, especially to do it through a journey that's not taken by a lot, if any, people.
But kind of segue into the next thing, we have a segment where we kind of talk about fashion a little bit. It's called Match Mismatch, play on words there. So first question for, Spain has so much fashion history, shows, etc. Have you been to any stores in Spain that you feel like were kind of unique, that, we probably wouldn't be able to experience in the US?
Not in Barcelona. I think the fashion is more in Madrid. That's where the money is at. That's where kind of like the bougie people be at. But Barcelona is a more chill type of place. Not people, not a lot of people wearing clothes. They out on the beach, all the time. Like it's always hot. But I have not been to Madrid yet to kind of, take in that culture. But when I do, I will definitely be able to, kind of see what they got, see what they're working with type thing.
So I know you're saying Barcelona people are pretty much chilling, kind of more beach wear, a little bit more relaxed. So have you seen just kind of, I guess it doesn't really just have to be in Spain, but just, being overseas, any kind of trend or maybe like a statement piece or something that you've seen someone wear, you're kind of like, I don't know if that worked for me, but I think it's kind of cool, that they have it on.
Right. So I actually went to London and went to the London fashion show there, and people was wearing some, some wacky stuff. Like they have the pants with, I don't know, they some like design that you would see on your grandma's blinds or something, on your grandma's curtains. Or man, like they will be matching it up though. Like the pants will look like that. The shirt will be, no, I've definitely seen some different stuff for sure. I couldn't even explain it to you, but London was definitely my city where the fashion like kind of ruled. And I think Milan also is one of the fashion capitals of Europe. But I haven't like kind of indulged in Milan, but I've seen a little bit.
So how did you end up at London Fashion Week? Just being able to experience that. Did you go to a show or were you kind of just walking around while it was kind of overly popular for Fashion Week? How did you end up there?
Actually, it was actually 2020, literally 2 months before COVID shut everything down. So we were on a national team break where, kind of everybody kind of has a week off and able to, not practice, no games. So me and my teammates went to London and, we were just going to London just to kind of experience London. We ain't never been there before. And as we're like going in the taxi to our hotel, we see a big old billboard saying London Fashion Week is tomorrow. Like as we in there, I'm like, bro, we gotta go there. Like see if we can get some tickets. Like no matter the money, like let's just see if we can like pull up. So we ended up going there. We ended up going to one of the fashion stores. What's the fashion store name? I forget. It's one of the super popular stores in London. I forget the name though. It's gonna come to me later. I'm gonna be mad. But we end up going there and getting fits. And we paying top dollar for the fit, so we make sure we ain't slouching in the fashion show. We end up going there, watching the models walk out, and the experience was crazy because we ended up trying to get the most expensive tickets we could possibly get, like some VIP joints. So we getting the champagne and we getting the you guys enter first treatment, or here's your goodie bags, guys, type treatment. Like we over there, we thinking we big money, but yeah, like the experience was great. The experience was great.
You said you tapped into one of the fashion stores to get your fits before you went. What did you all go and buy?
So it's on my Instagram. So I got like this Balmain silk shirt with these what I had some Saint Laurent pants and some Dolce & Gabbana shoes, and at that time we just buying names, like we just trying to pick the best names together. And I think he had on his Versace chains with it's on my Instagram though. I don't really remember. He had some McQueen's on, but we was in there. We was in there.
My boy was putting that, yeah. Okay.
Right.
Man, that must be nice. I tried that. I think the same thing happened to me last season. I was in Portugal. I ended up just going to Milan on a whim, and I figured out it was during Fashion Week. When I got out there, I just happened to get out there at the right time. It must be a thing during the FIBA break, but I couldn't get into no shows, bro. They was like, I was like, yeah, I was talking to this. She was like a promoter or something for like one of the clubs. Yeah, like I'm trying to get to a fashion show. She was like, trying to do what? I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get to a fashion show. She started laughing at me. She was like, you can't get to them shows. She was like, man, you got to be invited by a designer. Like, because this, mind you, this like, got the YSL show, all these top designers got shows. So yeah, you can't get in there unless you get invited to the show personally. So I'm like,
Right,
damn,
right.
yo, I'm sick. So
Man,
you got lucky, bro, for real. To even be
I
able to
did.
do that.
We did for sure. We know. We
It was
already know.
slow, super slow. I was like, hey, I had to watch everybody fastest from the street. I couldn't. It was over for getting to any shows.
Man. Oh, Selfridges. That's the name of the store in London. Selfridges. So if you ever go to London, you ever need a fit, like they got everything from top and bottom. Like we was in there, almost bought some Dior Chucks. Man.
How would you compare the style like from being in France, Spain, Tel Aviv? Like you've been everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, like which country would you say I guess had the most distinctive swag, or like, what would you say I guess the fashion kind of stood out the most based on where you've played?
Israel. Israel for sure. Israel was the most Americanized swag. Like I thought I was in America the way they were dressing. Like from the guys to the girls, like the girls, like they looked like they were from the DMV. Like they looked like, but they were just like foreign. Like they were just like, I don't know. They were just like, they just looked like different, but they were dressing the same. Like the dudes would have literally the same shoes that I'll be coming out with. I'm like, dang, I gotta go to the store. I need to bring some more joints from home. Like everybody got these joints out here. Like, but Israel definitely had the most Americanized swag and like made it like not better, but like they made it look good. They made it look good. The most European swag would probably be Germany. There are some like fashion capitals in Germany, like Berlin. Berlin, they dress really well there. Like that's a very Americanized city as well. They got good fashion there, but then like where I'm at, like Bamberg or like one of those small kind of cities in Germany, they wear just the basic thing. I ain't gonna say the lederhosen don't come out till Oktoberfest, but like they damn near may as well just wear that joint year round the way they
The
be
what?
dressing.
You said again? The what?
The lederhosen.
What is that?
That's the little onesie they be wearing on Oktoberfest, like the little green onesie when they be I don't even know how to explain what the
Better look
shoes.
that one up. I never heard that one before. Alexis, you know what that is?
I usually know, but I don't know about this.
That's what the little unitard they be having on. You know
Oh,
what I'm talking about?
man.
Who is they?
Germany.
So like Germans, they wear like green leotards.
Like green, like onesies, like it's
I
like a
think I see
little
it's like overall sort of or not.
overalls. Yeah, that's the word I'm
Okay,
looking for.
yeah,
Green
yeah. I see
Because the
overalls.
onesie was throwing me for a loop. I'm like, hello,
Right,
like
right, yeah, yeah. Onesie was the wrong turn, but overalls is what I was looking for.
Okay. I got you. Now that's funny, man. Hey, see, learn something new every day on the What's in Your Bag podcast, man. Um, so it's kind of switch lanes a little bit, man. Kind of a new segment that we had, it's kind of a play on words with the show, and it's you let me take me out my bag, or you took me out my bag. And for this one, man, I want to kind of talk to you about a time when I guess some kind of maybe the politics of the game maybe threw you for a loop, or maybe something that kind of threw you off where I guess you kind of question like if you were becoming maybe a different version of yourself. Kind of anything that I guess just throughout this whole pursuit, right, in pro basketball, like that you feel like something that I guess threw you off or kind of was mentally hard for you to kind of get over or deal with. Like can you talk about a time like that where you kind of had to, I guess, persevere, or you felt like maybe I guess challenge you mentally or personally?
I mean, I think the obvious answer is always, holidays without family. But that you have to persevere and get through every single year. But I think that's more of an obvious one that everybody has to go through. So personally, I want to dig in a little bit more personal. I think just kind of realizing that uh, you know, the culture that you're in or the country that you're in is not your culture. Like, the things that you like, the things that you're used to eating, the things that you're used to doing is not what they're used to doing. So unless you positively indulge in that culture or indulge in, trying new things, like you will find yourself being depressed or find yourself like hating, the country or culture that you're in. So I think persevering as far as for personally persevering through that and kind of like just going to every country and kind of embracing each culture I was in, I think that's probably my biggest one.
That's dope. That's dope. I think for a lot of people who don't kind of play basketball over here, man. I think that was kind of very well said, for sure. We've kept you on for a while, man, so I won't hold you over too much longer, man. But I got a couple more questions, kind of bringing it back home to the Dematha scene, man. And the first one I'm gonna ask is, like I said, we had James on, we had Mike Jones on last year before we got actually right when he got hired at Virginia Tech, and we asked him and James and Quinn when we had Quinn on here, the best Dematha team, man. We're gonna keep it in the Mike Jones era. We don't gotta bring in Morgan Wooten into it, but recently, a lot of the young guys, I talked to Jameer Young at UMD recently, and he was on some good Dematha teams with Earl and Hunter, that went undefeated and stuff like that. So, for you, man, what is your take on the best Dematha team to come through that school, man? I gotta hear it.
Man, the best team. I mean, it's hard because the most guys like was definitely my freshman year when they had Najee Hibbert, Josh Selby, James, Jeremy, Jaren, Vic, Mikhail, Justin Black was in that rotation. Like all those guys on one squad was insane. Marcus Rouse was on that squad. Like all those guys, they look like a NBA team. I mean, maybe to me because I was freshman 5'4", 100 pounds, like they looking like league dudes to me.
James
But
had the same exact thing, bro. James,
man, like for sure, like that was like the pinnacle of like, dang, this is high school. Like, am I ready for this? Like, oh my gosh. Um, but the best, like the best team was probably my sophomore year when they had they lost was Josh Selby, Najee Hibbert, and they basically kept the core group and with Quinn and everybody else. And like I think my sophomore year, I want to say it was 2010. The 2010 team was a very, very good team. Very, very good team. But as the most guys, the most talent, man, that my ninth grade year, I want to say it was 09 or 08, 09. That team was probably like you would put them against anybody, and they it's hard to beat them.
For sure. Next question is, man, obviously, like we asked James this, man, too, and I know you're close with him, obviously Jeremy as well. And for you, man, obviously as your career has kind of ascended, even for me, man, I think for everybody back home, it's just been crazy to see like just where you started, bro. Like meeting you when we were at the Mather camp, and just seeing where you are now has been crazy, man. Like, but what has the support been like from those guys, man? I guess from the other guys that have been pros from the Dematha, have they been like reaching out to you? What have they been saying and throughout this whole time, man? Have they ever been like, hey, man, you remember where you was at back in the day? Like, what's all that like with those guys?
I mean, those guys just kind of know how it goes. They definitely, have their surprise moments where it's like, dang, like you at this level, like, man, like good luck, bro. Like, keep doing your thing type deal. But for the support part, James actually has been in my corner, and Jeremy and one of my best friends, Kenny, like they've been supporting me since day one. Like, not even just for basketball, but just as a person. Like, they don't care if I end up playing basketball or end up working an office job at home. Like, they gonna be in my corner. Like, hey, we got your back. But specifically, I want to give a shout out to James because I was actually before the Phoenix Summer League. So let me backtrack. So Strasburg, I actually at the end of the season I sprained my MCL, and yes, so it took me 4 weeks to kind of get to running again type thing, and as I'm healing up, that's when I get the letter for Phoenix Suns to come. So I got basically to heal from my MCL, and then I have to basically, get on the court as quickly as possible so I can get ready to kind of, put my best foot forward for Phoenix. And James was kind of the one that had enough time to kind of like get in the gym with me and kind of like put me through workouts. At this time he's getting ready for Delaware and, kind of like, ready to enter his job there. So we're kind of helping each other out. But, we will wake up in early mornings and, sometimes late nights and get in the gym together. And, he kind of, helped me push me to my limits, not, knowing that I had the injury, but also like knowing like, all right, like you got to go a little better than that if you want to, be at this level type thing. So, I give him, man, I really appreciated him last summer for doing that for me.
Yeah. I want to clarify too, when I talked to those guys, when I asked James and Quinn all that, they weren't surprised that you made it. It was more so like I remember James Cleveland the other year, like I wasn't surprised when he made it because we always knew Cam was good, back in the day. And I think, same for myself. I think just the fact that you were on the team with those guys and anybody who seen you play knew you, it was never about talent or ability. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to clarify that for the audience. Nobody, I think, is surprised by your journey. Just, it's a very unconventional route coming from where you came from to where you are now. Last question I ask you, man, is even, I guess, on the flip side, man, I think, Jeremy has had a similar story to you, right? Coming from Syracuse and kind of being underrated, man. Jeremy was never like, the one and done prospect. He was kind of like Lincoln and awkward at Dematha and third, ninth pick in the draft, second round guy. And now he's worked his way up as well in the NBA to being Olympic gold medalist, on the verge of being an all-star guy, this year with Portland. What has it been like for you to kind of, I guess, see him, elevate in his career and kind of be on the same trajectory as you, just kind of you guys are both taking those steps, as you guys are getting older together?
Honestly, I try to support or I try to like, brag about Jeremy any chance I get because I know, the route he took. I know, his hard work and, just knowing how hard I work to get where I'm at, how hard he had to work to get to where he's at. To be honest, like he has like this there's something different about him. Like when he wants to be good at something or when he wants something, like he stops at nothing to be good. So for example, like we used to play video games and we would play Mortal Kombat and like, we would, be neck and neck. Like, I'll win some games, he will win some games, but he would literally tirelessly like practice Mortal Kombat to be nice. And the way he approaches that is the way he approaches everything. Like if he wants to do something is like he tirelessly like commits himself to be good at whatever he is doing. And I think he kind of took that approach with basketball and especially this summer. Like I've never seen him lock in like he's locked in this summer, and I think it's showing. But yeah, like he's kind of different because he has the ability to kind of get the hang of something and kind of grow it and kind of like get better and get better and get better. So like just kind of watching his growth and watching his, where he is also not surprising, but, it's just been, kind of like a smile like, dang, like you really did this at the NBA level. You crazy, bro.
Yeah, last question for you. So my era of Dematha basketball is a little newer, Justin Moore, Hunter, Markel. I'm a little younger, but who do you kind of enjoy watching now? I guess you could say from the new school Dematha era. Who do you enjoy watching, whether if it's in the March Madness tournament or if you just, happen to click on a game? Who have you kind of been, I guess you could say, following from the newer era?
From the newer era, who do I keep up with? I really like Hunter, and I like Jameer Young. Hunter Dickerson and Jameer Young. Jameer Young started off at Charlotte, and now he's been, I think he was murdering in Charlotte, and now he's about to be at Maryland. And I played against him, and seen his talent and his hunger, just through a pickup game, and I think he's going to have a terrific year and beyond wherever he goes. Like I really like his game. And then, of course, Hunter is, been he's always been a hard worker, and he has a different swag. Like, he a big white dude, but he got that PG swag with him. So it's always fun kind of watching him at Michigan and kind of like put on for the PG area.
Nah, yo, Hunter is a character, bro, for real.
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny.
It's crazy being in the media the last couple of years, just seeing his little big Dickinson energy shirts, like all this stuff. I got folks on Twitter. He definitely got the
Man,
Twitter fingers too, man.
his personality is definitely going to take him far.
No, facts for sure, man. I definitely second you on Jameer as well. I had the opportunity. We had him on the podcast last year when he was at Charlotte. So we could say we kind of seen him before he was at Maryland, you know what I'm saying, diamond in the rough.
Right.
But now obviously, I got a chance to actually hoop with him this summer too at Maryland, with Kevin Willard, some open gym sessions and stuff like that. And he's definitely gonna have a big year this year at UMD. So shout out to Jameer for sure. But nah, man, this has been a great episode, man. We could keep you on here for a whole another hour just talking, telling stories, catching up, man. But we know it's late over there in Spain, so we won't keep you up for too much longer, man. But I just want to say, just number one, just congrats, on all of the success you've had thus far. Like I said many times, man, just seeing where you started back at the Dematha camp and watching your journey has been inspiring, bro. Just for me, as somebody who's also trying to work my way up through this overseas ranks and play at the highest level, man. It's been inspiring for me to be able to see what you've been able to do. And I know it's been inspiring for a bunch of other people, to be able to watch your journey. And I think you're a guy that's super easy to root for, given the fact that you're a humble guy. You're not somebody who's out here, Hollywood or nothing like that, man. And that's going to take you far. You know what I'm saying? And like I mentioned before, man, I'm already knowing that God's going to bless you with that NBA contract soon. And I can't wait till it happens because, we're going to drop this clip on them people, man, and just show the whole full circle journey, man. So just wanted to say, we're proud of you, obviously, here at the What's in Your Bag family. And, I just want to give you, your flowers, man, let you know that you got a whole bunch of folks that are rooting for you and, praying for your success as well, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for having me.
No doubt, my guy. All righty, folks, this has been another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online. Make sure you guys are liking this podcast, subscribing to this podcast, and giving us a 5-star rating. It goes a long way, man. We got some bangers coming up for y'all, man. So make sure y'all are telling a friend to tell a friend, man. We got off to an amazing start here with this show, and definitely can't wait to see where it goes, man. But this is going to be my guy, Pull Up Tay, on the outro. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace. This has been another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online.